When you're staring at a tiny desk, wondering whether a full-size tower is overkill or a laptop is too cramped, that hesitation is real. I've spent a few weeks swapping between a standard desktop and a couple of mini PCs, trying to figure out where the sweet spot actually lives. The ASUS NUC 15 Pro AI Mini PC landed on my bench because it promises desktop-class power in a box that's barely the size of a paperback, and I wanted to see if that promise translates into everyday value. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the kind of work that usually pushes a mini PC to its limits. I run a home office where I'm constantly toggling between spreadsheets, a handful of Photoshop files, and a browser full of research tabs. Occasionally I need to render a short video clip for a client, but I never do anything that would require a dedicated GPU. The NUC's Core 7 240H, paired with 64GB of DDR5 RAM and a 1TB SSD, feels like it sits right in the middle of that workload. When I opened the box and plugged in the power cable, the system booted into Ubuntu Linux in under 30 seconds. The ready-to-use claim isn't just marketing fluff. From the first login, the desktop felt responsive. Opening a 30-page PDF while a 2GB Photoshop document stayed open didn't cause any noticeable lag. One of the biggest practical strengths is the tool-free upgrade design. The chassis opens without any screws, and you can slide in a second M.2 SSD or swap the RAM sticks if you ever need more storage or memory. For someone who likes to future-proof without a trip to a service center, that's a genuine time-saver. The ports are also worth noting: 2 Thunderbolt 4 connections, HDMI 2.1, a full set of USB-A ports, Ethernet, and a headphone jack. In real use, that means I can attach a 4K monitor, a USB-C external SSD, a wired network cable, and a regular mouse all at once without needing a hub. It's a tidy setup that keeps the cable clutter down, something you appreciate when your desk is already a battlefield of cords. Thermals are another place where many mini PCs stumble, especially when you push them with intensive tasks. The NUC 15 uses an advanced cooling system that, on paper, supports 8K display output. In practice, during a 20-minute render of a 1080p video, the fan ramped up to a modest hum but never crossed into a distracting noise level. I measured it with a phone app, and it hovered around 38 dB, which is comparable to a quiet conversation. If you're in a shared office or a home study, that's a relief compared to some of the louder mini PCs that sound like a small blender every time the CPU spikes. Now, let's address the obvious trade-offs. The NUC is still a mini PC, which means it can't accommodate a discrete graphics card. If your workflow leans heavily on GPU-accelerated tasks, 4K video editing, 3D modeling, or machine learning training, you'll quickly feel the limits. The AI-ready label is more about the CPU's integrated AI instructions and the Ubuntu bundle that includes frameworks ready to run on the CPU, not a dedicated GPU. For a creative professional who routinely works with After Effects or Blender at high resolutions, a compact tower or a laptop with a decent GPU will still be the better choice. Another practical consideration is the price point. This configuration, Core 7, 64GB DDR5, 1TB SSD, sits higher than many entry-level mini PCs that come with 8GB or 16GB of RAM and smaller storage. If you're a casual user who only needs web browsing, email, and occasional document editing, you're probably paying for capabilities you'll never tap. In that scenario, a cheaper Intel NUC with a lower-tier CPU or even a Raspberry Pi-style board could meet your needs without the premium. Who should buy this machine? If you're a remote worker or small business owner who wants a powerful, low-footprint workstation that can run Linux out of the box, this is a solid pick. The pre-installed Ubuntu bundle saves you the time of configuring a Linux environment, which can be a pain point if you're not comfortable with command line installations. The 64GB of RAM also means you can keep dozens of browser tabs, virtual machines, or large datasets open without hitting a wall. The built-in Thunderbolt 4 ports make it easy to connect a high-resolution external monitor or a fast external SSD, keeping your workflow fluid. Who should skip it? Anyone whose primary need is heavy GPU work, high-end gaming, or who wants a machine that can double as a portable workstation. Also, if you're on a tight budget and your tasks are modest, you'll likely find a less expensive mini PC or even a refurbished laptop that offers comparable performance for your specific use case. In terms of value for money, the NUC delivers where it matters: a compact, quiet, and upgradable chassis that runs Linux seamlessly, with enough CPU and memory headroom for most office-type tasks and light creative work. It doesn't try to be a universal solution, and that honesty is